The news reporter Nick Pick spoke to a local coach about the pressures of competing on the biggest stage.
Coach Jason Button and his team at Champion Gymnastics woke up early this morning to watch that team competition live. Some of the athletes shocked to see their idol walk away from the competition on the world's biggest stage. Button said from what he saw, Biles balked on her vault. Basically didn't trust it, opened up in the middle of it. He says that can happen seemingly out of nowhere because of what he called a mental block, when a gymnast just doesn't feel comfortable doing that type of move. He says pressures and stress can bring that on. So while it may be shocking who it happened to, the fact that it happened in general is not so shocking. He says he works with his athletes all the time to overcome those mental blocks. Physically, it's working on what he called a ladder system, or taking the athletes to a less difficult routine to build them back up, almost like a rehab situation. Mentally, one of his biggest tools is teaching them positive self-talk.
Innately, they don't have it. They're very hard on themselves, and they have trouble visualizing and separating on those. So when I switch into coaching, I would like, you don't talk to yourself positively? And they're like, no, I think I'm terrible and I can't do this. And that was the hardest thing for me, going from athlete to coach, is realizing that you have to teach them how to visualize and be positive.
This issue of an athlete's mental stability, way more complex than just that. I talked to a doctor, someone who specializes in mental performance, why she says these things can happen and how to overcome them.
Talk to some experts on what happened and why.
While it may be shocking who this happened to, gymnastics coaches and performance specialists say it's not shocking what happened, because pressure and stress play more of a role than many people think.
Oh.
The misstep seen around the world.
She stalled on that.
One Jason Button and his team saw live.
She was going for a 2.5 twist, and she turned it into a 1.5 twist. She balked.
That balk, unlike anything the world has seen from Simone Biles before. But Button knows they can happen. He's the head coach of Champion Gymnastics. State titles in their DNA. And with that pedigree comes the pressure, bringing with it what he called mental blocks.
It's irrational. It comes out of nowhere. It's always usually based, though, not in gymnastics, but in stress and pressure. And all of a sudden you start losing where you are in the air.
That feeling is not unique to gymnasts.
We have all types of emotions. They aren't always helpful emotions.
Dr. Vanessa Shannon is Norton's Director of Mental Performance, working with athletes daily to navigate what she calls the waves of disruption, stresses and pressures that may not be sports related that can affect how athletes perform.
It's about creating a space where athletes do have the permission to feel, and they're able to develop those skills to be emotionally agile, so that when they experience emotions, they can truly process them.
And right now, that's what Biles is doing, taking that breather to assess where she is mentally and if she can continue to compete.
Twisting double back.
Something Button called a teaching point for coaches and for young athletes who want to follow in Biles' footsteps.
The fact that she felt empowered enough to speak up, no, this is not right for me, I'm not mentally in a good space, I think that is a sign that we're going in the right direction.
The next chance to possibly see Simone Biles compete would be in the individual all-around final. That begins on Thursday. In the studio, Nick Pick, Wave 3 News.